Character revamp! Now, this video isn't going to be as cheerful as my last one by any stretch of the imagination. I will be talking in a very, somber tone. But I still love you all, even the haters. Enjoy the rest of the video. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of the video. Sincerely. Woo! Please don't take anything I say in this video as condescending or rude. I am just very disappointed in this community for their collective response to someone who clearly only needs grace, a gentle explanation, and time. That said, shout out to Ash in my comments for defending Nandi and proving to be a mature person. Also, thank you for calling my voice soothing. It really made my day. Also, shout out to Silk Moth, who left my first ever hateful comment that added no substance to the conversation and was simply to be mean spirited. I will also be mentioning heavy topics and addressing Nandi directly. Doing my research by watching almost every response video I could enlightened and terrified me in that order. I realized that history was repeating itself. Nandi has become the new birdie, but a quote transphobic unquote and aggressive person instead of hypersexual. The only difference is now I have the platform and means to defend when I previously could barely stay afloat myself. Firstly, I will provide my stance on the most divisive areas of the situation. I still agree with Nandi's stance on AI art. AI will never replace real artists. I also have nuance on the subject by introducing class. Most people can't afford 3 meals a day, an active social life, and bills, including utilities, which are all the bare minimum for living a happy and healthy life as a Homo sapien. To tell people in poverty to, quote, just buy commissions, unquote, which can easily cost upwards of 50 United States dollars, is classist. AI art is a way for people with no money and or no time to hone their own artistic skills to still have the luxury of art of their character, per or persona, and whatever else they want or need it for. Now, don't put words in my mouth. People who scam using AI art in a non transformative way are awful and do deserve vitriol. Nandi, however, did not do that. Monetized work or AI was more than transformative enough to justify not only its existence, but its profitability. Here's how you can prove me wrong. Find and identify the artists the program stole from and link them in your comments for me to shout them out in my next video. Speaking of monetization, as class issues, all medical things cost an insane amount of money in the United States, with most hospitals refusing to offer bill negotiations or even itemization. Even lawyers cost a lot of money. You all telling this woman to get mental help instead of donating to her just shows that you have very little life experience. It's okay. We were all young and clueless at some point, myself very much still included. Nandi was failed in every way. She was failed by the economic system, she was failed by her audience, and she was failed by her community. It speaks volumes that the only people that defended her were other Black commenters. Being able to afford non business luxuries is a privilege. Go and leave us impoverished people alone. As for the transphobia, I found it incredibly distasteful outside of the animatic Nandi released. Always use proper pronouns regardless of whether or not the person has successfully medically transitioned or is being kept anonymous. To be clear, Nandi is not a bad person for changing the pronouns of someone for the sake of keeping hate from being sent their way. For those claiming that a YouTube comment won't send a mob, yes, it does. What people you are subscribed to interact with on their own account will get recommended to others that enjoy their content. It would only be a matter of time before the algorithm sent y'all to her video from that comment he left. I've educated myself by watching the live stream, and that wasn't bad considering the flood of hate she's been getting. All of you are providing Karen level overreaction. You are all the reason why the right wing government see trans people as easily offended snowflakes. This behavior is an embarrassment to the larger community, and you all should be ashamed of your behavior. This is not how you gain the respect of others. She does not owe you an apology. If you do not like her, then you can honestly just block her content. She was most likely endearment and an attempt to bond. Roasting is Black culture. We bully each other as a form of love. The proper response was to draw yourself pooping on her instead. That would have made her laugh and de escalated the situation. That would have been more effective than virtually lynching her and coming for her bag in the form of bullying her sponsors. Also, there is a chance that she lived or is currently living in an area with lead paint, which can cause heightened aggression. With her being broke as shit, just like most of us other melanated members, I wouldn't put an untreated mental illness like bipolar disorder past her either. Support her, be neutral, or be angry. That is your right. I choose to support her because I like being on the right side of history. I am African American, trans, a religious minority, mentally and physically disabled and ill, below the poverty line and barely clinging on to the will to live. And yet, as a 22-year-old woman who can't afford bottom surgery, I challenge you to truthfully call me transphobic or bigoted with evidence to back it up. The reason this video took so long is because of all of my disabilities and the fact that I have a job and social life outside of YouTube art drama. In full honesty, I am terrified to upload this video. You are all so angry and hateful. I wouldn't be surprised if my comment section and Instagram DMs were full of death threats and doxing. And I don't care about that anymore. If someone sends a pipe bomb to my home simply because I disagreed with them online, it will just make one hell of a story to tell the gods when I'm in the afterlife. I support Nandi as a person and artist. Based on her track record before this meltdown, she is still, based on her track record before this meltdown, she was and still is a good person. Good people do and say bad things out of ignorance sometimes. It's life. I'm sure that if and when she comes back, she'll be better than ever, and her true friends and her true fans, like me and Ash, will be right there to welcome her back. Also, Nandi, I'm sorry if you actually do go by they them now. And it's not just for a bit. Hella cringe. Every cool tran knows that Z them is where it's at. For those offended by that joke, it was written by my actual Z them friend. And you're transphobic if you are anything less than neutral about it. I don't know what to do for an outro, but I do humbly ask you guys to be more aware about the things you say online to other living, breathing people. And also, feel free to respond to this video with your own. I love auditory and visual media. It's honestly a very fun experience for me. Have a good one, everyone, and remember, transphobia is super cringe. Don't be cringe.